Well, when the fixtures came out for this Magic weekend, this was the one, wasn't it? This was the one that everybody looked at and thought, this could be fantastic. But Wigan are flying in terms of health. A squad at near full strength. Warrington, anything but. They are missing some star names. They need a performance of heroic proportions here today. What happened in Vegas, they are hoping will stay in Vegas, the Warrington Wolves, when they were beaten heavily. Can they buck the trend? Well, Kyle Abel alongside us for this one. What are you looking forward to, Kyle?
Good afternoon, Dave, and good afternoon to everyone watching at home as well. You're right, the champions, they love these big occasions. And the Wolves depleted, but the Bevan French, what a stellar season he's having already. 9 try assists and 7 tries to his name. And he'll be the one to watch for Wigan, make no mistake about it. Ollie Leyland's got a big job. And then for the Wolves, it's Ben Curry, who's featured in the back row, in the centres and at loose forward, where he operates today. And his ability to get his hands on the ball and help out this new formed half-back combination of Ratchford and Leyland will be key. The Wolves have got it all to do, Dave.
Well, we predicted a few matches before they've kicked off this weekend, haven't we? And not all of them have gone as we expected. Not the least of them, the one we've just watched. Huddersfield with their first win of the season. And I think most impartial observers would fancy Wigan for this one because of that fitness situation, because of the stellar names who are on and not on the field. But beware expectations on a stage like this.
Yeah, you're just looking down the Wigan Warriors lineup. They're almost 1 to 13 in number. There's only Liam Burns who features in there instead of Ethan Havard. And here we go.
Well, Stefan Ratchford, well, he might have been a late call. He might not have been first choice, but my goodness, what a big campaigner he is. And he gets us underway, and Warrington showing early intent with their charge towards the tackle, and Wigan with a job to do to get themselves clear of their lines in these early stages. Reminder, if you are late with us, if you've only just joined us for this one, then Wigan more or less at full strength, but Warrington missing those names. Good heavens, George Williams, Mark Sneed amongst them, Toby King. We've got so many out, but Wigan are advancing well here. Early stages. O'Neill out of dummy half. Smith to his left-hand side. Masemba just a little halted as he moved forward. Holroyd getting a tackle in and eventually down short of the halfway line, and Smith gets that kick away, and Duffy with a first chance to shine with a catch. But look at the chase. It is a solid wall that comes his way.
Yeah, it sure is. And off a set that was just nothing too fancy, Dave. The big middles of Wigan just getting their hands on the ball, just getting that early touch, that early feel. But now, on the flip side of it, it's the contact part that they'll be looking to make sure that they nail here.
Great attendance here today, by the way. As an aside, it's a Sunday of Magic that will see a bigger crowd than the Saturday of Magic. So that's one little piece of history written the first time that's happened, when the Sunday's got a bigger crowd. And looking here to see if Warrington can advance from this penalty. Yates takes it in, referee says offside against the Wigan defenders. And so a clearance kick here for the Wolves.
Yeah, I think it's Liam Byrne just in the centre of that picture. He just gets off his line a yard too early, and a disappointing penalty to give away in the opening exchanges. But it's the Wolves who'll start 40 metres away.
Wait, it's not there.
Referee just calming things down before eventually the tap is allowed, and we're off and running again. And Warrington for the first time in the shape of Paul Vaughan with ball in hand inside their opponent's half here. What can they make of this position? It's Yates who steadfastly just drives it forward, taking his side closer. Powell, the former Wiganer, looking right. Leyland switches it back towards Josh Thulis. It's worked towards that left wing, and Duffy with a step away, and here comes Aaron Lindop, and Lindop, he's rolled the ball back. There's a dive for the corner, and Duffy is claiming a try with barely 2.5 minutes played. How's it going up? How's it going up?
I have no try.
Oh, no try, he says. So let's hear from the video referee.
Please. Tackle 2, we've got no try on field. We're looking for a potential knock-on in the build-up. Lindop in possession. It's a fair challenge by French. Still in possession, still in possession. Still in possession at this point. Appears to, yeah, have we got anything from the side angle? All the pace lost, just looking in terms of direction. I think the first angle might be our best angle. Go back to that. Lind up in possession. Fair challenge all round. The ball then hits the floor. The ball appears to come away from his grasp on that. This angle might give us some more. Yes, that angle's our best. Just roll this one back, please. This one's going to be our best one. And then slow now. Lindot rolls over the ball. He's always travelling forward and his hand clearly comes off the ball. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, I think all the angles there showed that wasn't going to be a try, but what a mood lifter for the Primrose and Blues.
Yeah, shots fired, Dave.
Yeah.
Against the erratic right edge of Wigan. And Bevan French's tackle ultimately saves his side the blushes in the earliest part of the game. No try.
So as you were. But Aaron Lindop with an early chance to probe that line, and Dufty with an early celebration that proved premature, but they're here to provide a battle. Nearly 3 minutes gone. Wigan will get possession back here, but only 10 from their own line. Dufty's coming from a long way back to join the back of the scrum. Shot clock's counting down. In it goes. French sticks it in. Marshall looking to dance away, but like a rash, those Warrington players covering him and putting him down.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that more and more. Liam Marshall, he's such an incredible ball carrier backfield, averaging 200 metres a game, Dave. Abbots Miski's not one to do too bad either.
They do tend to meet on big stages, these two of late, don't they? Wembley Stadium last year, of course, in the Challenge Cup, and Vegas, and now Newcastle. Just adding an extra dimension to the rivalry that these two have. And this is going to slow things up.
Dufty's boot.
I'll do the same
They've
for you
stopped
guys.
it. It's the tail of Dufty's boot.
I'll do the same for you.
Well, it's Powell, in fact, it's his boot that's come off, and the referee just, as Wigan look collectively with eyebrows raised, the referee says, I'll do the same for you, so we'll see if that happens. But Wigan back in possession, looking to get some momentum built here. 5 played. Now it's the last. The boot this time belongs to Harry Smith as he sticks it high. Dufty's underneath it with the catch. Josh Thulis was there in support, but Dufty will carry it forward. And Wigan up there, the ball comes free. The referee says play on. Marshall running into that little umbrella of defenders, and Wigan have given themselves an excellent platform here.
Yeah, we see that play so many times, Junior and Semba, holding them up and dragging them over, but the ball spilled. Cade Ellis now.
Out it goes to Smith, they're looking for numbers. And this is French with the ball back on the inside. Field with a little dance, but that's fooling no one in Warrington colours. So 5 away. Leeming bends his back and hurls it back towards the middle. This is just driven in. 5 away. O'Neill now is up there. Ellis pawing the ground just to his left, and he's pawed it a little too heavily because he's gone over. So that makes him an easy target for those Warrington defenders. O'Neill again, skipping out. Bevan French looking right into the hands of Farrell. Farrell just taking the wrestle. 5 away, still probing hard. French stands and waits again. Here's O'Neill. Throws it back to Ellis, across the line. Smith with a short pass. Semba at 100 miles an hour came crashing in, but can't breach that Warrington line. Another set. Referee's waving another set of 6 here. So there's more to come. Harry Smith dancing and pushing. Leyland, one of those who gets in to complete the tackle.
There was a big tackle on Semba before, but the fight wins the 6 again.
O'Neill out. It's stepped back by Thompson. Has to stay down. O'Neill to that right-hand side. French can't keep hold of it, and it doesn't bound backwards, it goes forward. Farrell kicks it away disdainfully, and Warrington survived that onslaught.
Yeah, big raps for Warrington there. Just kept moving underneath the ball, kept showing up, making some big tackles. Ollie Leyland with that one on December. You know, you can bet your bottom dollar you'll see that again. Big man on small man. And Ollie Leyland is up to the task. The ball moves to the right and Bevan French spills it. And the Wolves survive.
48-24 when these two met in Las Vegas. Wigan absolutely ran away with it. The 24 was made up mainly of consolation points late in the game from the Wolves' point of view.
Yeah, 42-0, wasn't it?
Yep.
Before Lindop's try. And then the extra couple of points came. Roderick tie.
Got a job to do here to clear their lines. Wigan again making sure they're going to be clamped as far downfield as they possibly can. And Ty just nicks an extra couple of yards there out of the tackle before he plays the ball. Powell is in and waiting. It's Curry to his left-hand side, who's just looking for a bit of muscularity from Yates again. And Powell stands and waits. And now Vaughan comes charging forward. Pushes away Ellis with a first effort, but three more willing Warriors defenders dragging him down. Here's Powell. And a kick for a chase, but Marshall diffuses safely enough.
Needed a bit more on that kick from Sam Powell. It just means Liam Marshall's able to collect the ball. And this is where Wigan are really threatening. Outer yardage, strong direct carries. Their outside backs are incredible for them.
That's Miskey. Here's O'Neill. And now Thompson just sticks the ball under that big left arm of his and drives it in. And O'Neill will stand and wait again. And Ellis has got support there, but chooses not to find Byrne. But they're making progress here. One-handed pickup from O'Neill. Put back towards Bevan French. And now Field. And Field to Miskey, who's standing in field. One last play for Wigan to probe here. 10 away. French hurling it back over to Smith. Big miss-out pass from him. The chip is dangerous. Marshall, I think, got a hand to it. Dufty bats it away. But I think the first knock-on is going to be against Wigan.
Yeah, from Liam Marshall, I think it is. And the kick goes high and hanging into that bottom left-hand corner. Marshall competes over Thewlis. I think it just catches Marshall's right arm there. And Dufty was taking no chances, of course.
Right, Jack, that was the last tackle.
I think he might captain's challenge this, Dave.
We have a captain's challenge. Yeah. We're going to challenge in the decision of a knock-on.
Well, as you heard, Wigan challenging that decision of the knock-on. Let's hear from Jack Smith.
Tackle 5, Wigan are challenging the on-field ruling of a knock-on. From a kick, so onside, offside first, please. Camera 4, just confirm that the players are onside. Go back to pause it on the foot, please. On the foot, everyone to the left is onside. Run this through now to the catch, please. Slow on this. Initially, that is always off Thewlis and appears to be going backwards. Let's see if there's a touch after that. That is always off Thewlis and back, so let's keep running now. Keep running it through. Keep running it through again. And that's off Dufty. Can we go to a wide angle, just check where the ball goes once Dufty pats it? So then we've established that's back. It's then off Dufty, and the ball goes dead. So the challenge by Wigan will be successful, and it will be a goal line dropout.
Well, there you go, successful challenge. Liam Marshall knew, and now everybody knows. We're going to get the ball back again.
Yeah, I owe Liam Marshall an apology. I thought it came off his right arm, but it was in fact Thewlis. And Dufty, in right to do so, just bats the ball dead off the chance that may present itself. And they'll get 6 more. And you just feel that Warrington, inside the opening 8 minutes, have done an awful lot of defending there, particularly down near their own end.
Well, the trend of 25 is to go short from the dropout, but Stefan Ratchford ain't sticking with that fashion. He's going to belt it. It's a little spiked bounce, and the wind probably doesn't help as well, and Wigan are already in prime position. Thompson tumbles. O'Neill. Smith to this left-hand side, and now it's with Wardle. Looking to just use that footwork of his, but there's such a tangle of bodies ahead of him, there's no way through. Marshall, this is slow. Marshall, eventually. Here's Smith, across to Ellis, who just pops it inside for Byrne to have a go.
Sam Powell offside.
Warrington offside. Sam Powell, the man. Is this an easy 2 points, or do they carry?
I think they keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
There's got to be a response.
Again, this must be the 5th set nearly inside the opening 9 minutes. And I think eventually You know, Wigan, they've tried moving the ball, they've tried big direct carries, just wearing and tiring Warrington's defence out.
Well, this ain't a bad moment for Luke Yates to get some treatment, because while he's down there, there's going to be a lot of breaths taking in by his teammates, who are going to be engaged in another battle in just a moment or so.
From there, Brad. From there. Yeah, that's right.
Interesting to see if the green card was being used there, but the referee decided that that was a genuine injury, so he's okay from that point of view. But Wigan come again with Thompson on the charge. O'Neill, 4 to his left, including December, but quickly Smith quickly dashes to that right-hand side. French is involved as well. Here's Field, and Field sees daylight, seeking glory, and as it fires the first shot from Wigan's point of view, with a bow and arrow celebration.
You're allowed to call a try.
And he's calling it a try.
Just checking there's no obstruction on Ratchford.
But he wants confirmation. See from Jack Smith again.
Tackle 1, flag calls try. We are viewing for possible obstruction, please. Really slow. Burns okay, find space. That's fine, just go back on that and slow. On Farrell, let's see what Farrell does in his obligations here. Right, Liam Farrell stopped short of the defensive line. The defence is not materially disadvantaged. Free to ground him, please, and the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
So all good, and that will be Wigan's first strike of the day.
No disadvantage. He's pulled up short in front of him.
And here comes confirmation. Wait for the roars and the groans. Jay Field's 14th try of the season in all competitions. He is prolific this year, and Wigan have the lead.
Yeah, there's so much to like about that try, Dave. They initially set up with 2 big men, but then Harry Smith's late movement from the short side over to the open, it creates an extra number, and you can just see Lachlan Fitzgibbon gets caught a little bit too tight, and Jay Field, you give him half a gap and he's gone. A wonderful, wonderful Wigan try. They're running at 72% in possession, and you can see why eventually, that's why they decided to keep playing, not take the 2 points, and just sheer weight of possession in that part of the field, and eventually they'll get over.
Well, the sponsors are giving a sum of money to the MND charity, aren't they, Betfred, to try celebrations. And some of them have been hampered because the referees have this habit of sticking it up to the video referee to decide, but I think that'll count, won't it, from Jay Field's point of view?
Sure will.
And here's Kieran with a chance to add another 2. He's been wonderful with a boot this year, as he has been throughout his career, and so it continues, and Wigan lead by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, Adam Kieran returned last week after missing the last 4, kicked 7 goals, he's just added another. It was a wonderful move there from Harry Smith, Bevan French, and how many times do we say French followed by Field? Strike again.
He is the arrow, Jay Field, he is the arrow. Double the number of tries he scored last year, 14 now this year, only 7 last year. That tells you about his return to form.
Oh, yeah, you know, 12 in the Super League, sits top of that department. And I think Wigan Warriors fans in many years to come will look back on these days and just think of what a joy it must have been to watch Field and French.
Wait 10 metres, wait. Go on.
And they keep on staying. There's been all kinds of speculation down the last few years, isn't there, about a return to the NRL, but they love it here so much. And they entertain so much. And there you see that when Wigan score first, they win. I think that was the case last year as well. When they strike first, they just put the foot down, foot to the pedal.
Well, they only concede 11 points so far in 2025, so you know, 2 tries a game. And they build that off the back of that. The strike and the quality that they have just makes it incredibly difficult to play against the champions. And they're on here again.
Yeah, the worry for Warrington is 4 of Wigan's 7 wins this year have been by 40 points or more. When they're in the mood, they're in the mood. And boy, are they in the mood. Here comes Bevan French. He's obstructed by the referee. Jake Field is trying to get over there. The referee got in the way. He probably wouldn't have caught Bevan French anyway. But that's an assist from Chris Kendall. French has Wigan second.
Well, we just said French to Field. Now it's Field to French. And Jake Wardle is one of my favourite players in the competition to watch. His balance, his skill. And Jay Field just pushing up on support, knowing that that left arm can get away. Cade Ellis then playing through the middle. And just watch this, against Roderick Tye, in and away, Ollie Leyland, low tackle, Jay Field pushing through.
What's the referee? What's the referee? Get out of the way!
Well, he's tangling them all inside out. And Chris Kendall just explaining to the Wolves players that he has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for them, I don't think he gets there anyways, if I'm honest.
No. 10 minutes in the bin for the referee. Get the touchy on.
Well, back-to-back tries. And this is just a joy to watch. Quality centre play. You see it so many times. Field and French, they just know how to sniff out an opportunity.
Back to back. The expectation from those fans was that their side would win well today. Well, it certainly started well. Warrington need a response. And first response is to stem the flow.
They just can't get the hands on the ball at the moment, Dave. 13 minutes or 14 minutes of just constant defence.
Kieran settles. And over he goes. 35th goal of the season for him. 12-0. Wigan now lead, and early worries for the Warrington coach.
It's a blistering start. They're just not able to cope with what's being thrown at them at the moment. Again, I'll mention individual quality and class always rises to the top. And you're seeing three of the best in that play.
Let's keep responding on the move, Cole.
Still chuckling at the referee's involvement there. There's something, if a referee falls over, it's always the funniest moment on the pitch, isn't it? Poor old refs. Marshall with a catch. Wigan start again in the shape of Liam Byrne. 10 metres out. Warrington looking to put some steel into their resistance in this set. Keep Wigan restricted. That will be the challenge. Cade Ellis with that latest carry forward. O'Neill had a dummy half. Late feint to the right-hand side. Farrell can't keep it alive. Swarmed around by 3 Wolves defenders. Here's Ellis. Oh, it's a poor pass. It's a poor pass. Nazemba picks up and looks to turn it around. There's a fairly solid line of defenders ahead of him, so that's the best he can do. And Warrington are doing a job here.
Yeah, decent set, isn't it, after points defensively. Good kick pressure there on Harry Smith. And Thewlis will get an opportunity just to try and rip straight back into the Wigan sort of line.
Two Thewlis is on the field. This is Josh, of course, the senior of the two. Jake was on loan at Salford last week, but he's back in the reckoning on the other side for Warrington today because of that big injury crisis they have. Here he is, Jake Thewlis, with a carry back towards the halfway line. Actually made his debut against Wigan last year, Jake Thewlis, for Warrington, so he'll enjoy this matchup. And here's Powell, and this is Curry. And back to Ratchford. Short pass from him, but no way forward with any meaning from Fitzgibbon. Running through the tackles, but Warrington looking to set up an attacking kick maybe at the end of this. Leyland just puts a hand on that because he could feel the challenge coming his way. Holroyd takes it on a yard or two, and now it's the last, and back it comes to Leyland, who puts it up in the air. Fields underneath it, but Marshall is the man who catches it, and the referee says no touch. But his touch judge has a different idea. Yeah, it's a touch judge has given that. Marching onto the field, and Warrington will get it back.
Yeah, back-to-back sets for the first time for the Wolves. Sheffield. And Thewlis just competing for that ball. He loses his sight. It's the correct call, Dave.
Goal line!
But a huge opportunity now for Warrington here to try and register something. I can't remember a time apart from that near Lindop try. They've had any play of the ball down here.
Well, here they go. Chance for Warrington. Big chance for Warrington. Dufty on the carry, looking to try and slide through, but Liam Farrell's got his hips and drags him down. Another set of 6. But it was the first tackle anyway. Vaughan carries it heavily towards the line, just about repelled. Now it's with Powell, slinging it back to Ratchford. This is Yates, crashing in. You know what you're getting from him. Honest endeavour, right down the middle. Powell again. Curry as that pivot. Ratchford takes it on again. Dufty's involved, delays the pass. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful from Dufty. And Jake Thewlis on the end of that to score in that corner. But what about the delivery?
It was a sublime ball from Matt Dufty. You know, we talk about Field and French, but Warrington have an answer their own. And a wonderful, wonderful pass there for Matt Dufty, for Jake Thewlis to register his 2nd try this season. And the field error just presented an opportunity, a chance, a moment that Matt Dufty was able to execute. Wonderful ball movement, create the 3-on-2, and the cut-out ball had to be on the money. And it was. And he hit back, 12-4, kick to come.
Well, we've got quality on both sides of the fence today, haven't we? As Matt Dufty has just reminded us.
He's so important. George Williams mentioned that if Warrington are going to have a stand in this game today, then Matt Dufty will play a huge part in it.
1 minute.
Well, don't forget, you get the chance to have your say on player of the match later on as well. Download the Our League app to be part of that. We'll be giving you 4 names deep into the game, and you get the chance to have your vote. But my goodness, there's some eye-catching moments from eye-catching players already.
Yeah, the skills on show in game 2 of the Magic weekend.
Here's Ratchford with the attempt. Close to that touchline. Couldn't be any closer. But right-footed player, so looking to swing it in if he can. Had that horrific facial injury last year, didn't he, that just about ended his season. The kick is not quite far enough. So it remains at 12 points to 4.
Again, we're just seeing this wonderful piece of skill. The cut-out ball to the young 19-year-old Jake Thewlis.
Better on the 10,
and that pitch is a quality one.
Little puff of the cheeks for the man who, as we said, was at Salford last week. Didn't think he was part of the picture, but very much a central figure so far today. And Warrington back in possession, and Yates looking to thunder it forward. But that Wigan chase is not allowing that, and they're pushing it back a yard or 2. Typical response in defence. Powell out of dummy half. Vaughan now will take none of that. He'll carry it in and make extra yards. And the offload, and Powell gets it further away. It's still alive. Here's Dufty. Dufty now slinging it to that left-hand side. Lindop's on the race. Farrell can't keep up with him. The ball is kicked back on the inside. Dufty's chasing after this. It took a recovery tackle to deny Warrington a glorious try, but there's more to come. Ratchford shifting it out quickly. Marshall trying to close it down and cause panic. Curry now driving it back towards the middle. What a response this is from Warrington, and they have a penalty. They get to go again.
Oh my goodness, in the blink of an eye. They've raced away 90 metres down that left edge.
Sam, we tap
and
it.
Wigan get back behind the ball, give the penalty away. I think the Wolves are going to keep rolling.
Sam, what are we doing?
Just having a discussion about what happens. And in back play, Lachlan Fitzgibbon is injured and he's hobbling back, and that's why Warrington are holding things up here. They want to have their full 13 available to attack here.
It was his offload that set Dufty and Lindop away.
What are we doing?
And I think they should keep playing here.
Hit the line.
Yeah.
Back to
Referee's
line.
just asked them. Sam
Let's go,
Powell turned
Sam.
around and said, we're carrying on, we're carrying on.
Back on.
He's heartened by what he's watching
One.
as Holroyd takes them to within 5.
Wait.
Powell at dummy half.
Chopping him in.
Oh, this is taking an
Play the
age.
ball, it's 6 of one, half of the other. It's tackle one. Play the ball, Adam.
Holroyd eventually plays the ball. Here's Curry. Back to Ratchford. Dummy shown, but no way through. Wigan defenders quickly up, closing things down. Now Powell. Delivering inside to Vaughan. No, he doesn't. He goes to Curry. Vaughan was a dummy runner. Back it comes, and Leyland with a footwork. Nasemba grabs a hold. You ain't going through, Ollie, not this time. It's now with Dufty. Dufty right up to the line. A bullet pass this time for Ty to drag himself over, but the Wigan defenders dragging himself towards the touchline, and belatedly the touch judge sticks the flag in the air to say the ball is out of play, on the line.
If I can't tell you how difficult this is for a left edge to not only deal with the immediate threat of Roderick Ty arriving at speed, but to then catch them and drag him over the sideline. Incredible strength there from them two, and pure technique as well. It's something that they obviously work on. We see it so many times from Wigan.
Very much part of their game plan, isn't it? When they don't have the ball, when the whitewash is in sight, that's where they head.
10 metres. Wait.
O'Neill. Byrne, but it's back to Farrell. With the carry.
Two. Move, Paul! Back. Wait.
This is O'Neill again.
Wait. Go to. Sam Powell! Come on.
Just a thunderous effort, both in attack and defence, from players who come together at top speed. You know, we take it for granted, don't we? The physicality of this game at times, but my goodness, they hit each other very hard.
Yeah, it's brutal, Dave. And it doesn't stop.
O'Neill again back to Ellis, and here's French. It's a 40-20 attempt, this. He's got the angle, he's got a bounce, but he's got Dufty over there to collect it back for Warrington. Surviving that moment, but Wigan will be still relatively happy with where it finishes. Warrington penned towards the corner.
It'll probably take the Wolves about 3 players before they get all the bodies back behind the ball. And as a defence, it's just easy to have a look up and tee off on the ball carriers. And that's 3 players gone now as Roderick Ty collides with Harry Smith. And there's that catch and drag again, Dave.
He's losing a yard or two. Leyland. Last game, of course, was that Vegas game, and glorious from his point of view. But a chance here for a reprise. Challenge Cup places are available as well to a lot of these Warrington players with that big semi-final next week. Catch by Field. Here comes Marshall. Marshall carries back.
I think Ollie Leyland shown up okay for the first 25 minutes. I expect them to send some traffic his way near the goal line. And here comes Wardle.
Sam Walters on the field, by the way. Liam Byrne has just come running off. First interchange from Wigan's point of view. And here's Walters with that first carry.
184 metres last week, Davey, and he's been enormous in the recent performances.
Enormous is the word. He's about 6'8", isn't he? Stood down in the... Oh, here's Field, skipping through again. Can he create some more magic? Oh, he's left Dufty trying to catch pigeons.
Time off.
Up we go again. What's he saying? What's he saying about this one?
Jacket is tackle free. Live call try. Just checking obstruction, please.
It was such an easy passage through that line. You've got to check for obstruction.
Yeah, you have to. It opened up. So easy.
Let's hear from the video referee.
Tackle free, we've got a try on field. We're checking obstruction, please. Just the build up. Look at the line of running here from the Wigan players. Is okay. Right, we're checking the run by Nsemba, please. Go back on this angle. It's the run of Nsemba. Run of Nsemba. So, Nsemba runs at the outside shoulder of Leyland. Go back this same angle, please. Oh, this one will be all right. Nsemba runs outside shoulder on Leyland. Let's just see what happens. And now Field. Nsemba has run outside shoulder, we've established that and made significant contact. The defence is then materially disadvantaged as Jay Field uses the space adjacent to the block to go through. This will be no try.
Well, no try, as you heard. Party spoiled for Jay Field.
Yeah. Well, you were right, Dave. Just how easy it just seemed to open up for Jay Field. You have to check it. And then Nsemba's line just takes out the outside shoulder of Ollie Leyland.
No try, obstruction. Thanks, mate.
Junior Semba's line is what's at fault here, as you heard.
60 here, Ollie. Wait.
Ollie Leyland made sure. Ollie Leyland made sure there was contact there.
Obstruction. Adam, nice and quick in the ruck.
This is Leyland. Ratchford onto Vaughan. Standing start for Paul Vaughan. So, no real chance to get momentum. If anything, again, he's lost a yard or two. It wasn't a fair challenge. Powell.
Just look how far forward the Warriors are getting. They really are getting up off the line quick, Dave.
Here's Josh Dewlis. Sticking it back on the inside for Adam Holroyd to have a run. Powell. And now Curry. Curry up to the line and away to Ratchford, and Ratchford saw the advancing Wigan defensive line.
Yeah,
late tackle.
Ben Curry ball playing. I think it's Cade Ellis who just hits him just as he releases the pass. It's a penalty, nothing more.
Ellis is furious at that decision, isn't he?
Well, look, they're both travelling at speed. He actually, yeah, he's maybe got a point.
Cade! There's no
I think Ben Curry still has the ball.
Yeah, he hits him.
He still has the ball. He's allowed to be able. But I think, yeah, Chris Kendall just saying there's no attempt of a tackle rather than.
Having said that, they could have challenged. You'll see the 2 C's underneath each team's name, which tells you they've each still got a captain's challenge left. They could have challenged if they thought that was injustice, but they didn't. So.
Well, I mean, it is a penalty. He doesn't wrap his arms around, but I thought it was for being late. It wasn't.
Leyland sticks it back. Here comes Josh Dewlis. Dancing steps towards the middle. Up and plays. Powell goes left. Curry helps it on. Ratchford's there. Short pass, but no way through. Fitzgibbon dragged to the ground. Powell goes scooting out again. This now is Curry. Curry with a short pass, and Yates has lost the ball as he took it in. As he was catching, there was contact. And it comes up Wigan's way.
I think Yates' line does what it's meant to do and attracts Nsemba. I think it's Brad O'Neill. The shot from Nsemba dislodges the ball. But if that had gone out the back, there might have been half an opportunity there.
Very nearly half an hour played. Electrifying. Opening 20-odd minutes. Wigan starting from deep. And about to make another change. Tyler Dupree is coming on, and Luke Thompson is the man who's gone off. Have Warrington made a change yet? I don't think they have they? Having said that, James Harrison's about to make his entrance. This is Nsemba.
Oh, well dealt with as well. Ollie Leyland just gets underneath him and gets the rest of the troops to drive him backwards. That's a scruffy.
Oh, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
Penalty for Wigan.
On the ruck like that. Yeah, I know it was him. Wait, no. It's a control restart.
Doesn't need to be doing that.
Well, Harry Smith finds touch. Wigan will start their set 30 from this Warrington line. Expectations on the coaching bench as Tyler Dupree, with what is going to be his first carry of the game, crawling over that 20-metre mark. French now, and here comes Walters with another big effort. Warrington are being pushed back yard by yard. O'Neill, now French. A flutter of fear amongst the Warrington defenders as French takes it on, but it's dealt with, and O'Neill goes out a dummy half, and Walters tries to push his way over, but well marshalled by 3-4 Warrington defenders. O'Neill slinging it back. Field now dummies the ball over the top. Got to by Holroyd. This is the last play. O'Neill into Smith. Smith with a tasty looking chip there, and it's into the hands of Kieran, but it's out of the hands of Kieran at the same time. Warrington survive.
Yeah, just can't quite get that offload away. Adam Kieran. It's a neat take. We're under pressure, and with the try line just a little bit farther out.
Well, Musgrove and Harrison both on for Warrington. Vaughan and Yates, the personnel they've replaced. So a double change down the middle for the Wolves. Freshening up their forces at a time when they need to make meters. This is Harrison.
Come on.
Battling carry from him.
Third, movement.
3 plays to go. Warrington midway inside their own half. Powell bends his back and taken on now by Musgrove.
Out, kid. Come on, Tyler. Don't need to hold your hand.
Powell. That's his right. Leyland with a kick. I think he was just outside the 40 when he let that fly. It doesn't matter anyway because Field will take it well in play. And running it back.
Surrender.
Tackle for kick from Ollie Leyland. Just trying to get out of their own yardage area is Jake Wardle. And I think over the last 15 minutes or so, Dave, after that blistering start from the champions, the game's pretty much evened out.
This is Marshall. Talk about big fellas on the pitch. What about these big fellas, the Stoltman brothers, the strongest men in the world? They must be the strongest brothers in the world. Somebody took a look at them and said, I wouldn't like to feed them on a regular basis. How many seats do they need? They can have as many as they like. Nobody's going to argue, are they? Leaning, moving it left. Smith sticking it high. French is on the chase. Dufty's there as well. Down it comes. Dufty. Oh, knocks it on. Pressure put on by French's presence. And Wigan get the ball back.
Yeah, Matt Dufty, for me, it is a difficult take, but he's got to be able to take that. And maybe with French being in there, just does enough to put him off and get inside his head as he's arriving on for that ball.
Nobody really jumped there, but after what we saw happen to Lewis Murphy yesterday, perhaps jumping's off the agenda. But it is Wigan who get head and feed, and Warrington with a big necessity to defend well here. 8 minutes of the half remaining. They cannot afford to concede again. Smith goes right.
Good tackle there from Ratchford.
Leeming. Smith popping it back. Ellis with a no-look pass there to Walters. He's dealt with easily enough. Leeming skipping out. Ellis, Smith, quick hands. French dragging defenders one way, trying to send Farrell the other. But Warrington's defence reads it. Leeming. Couple of plays in the bag here. Ellis sticks it back to Smith. Long pass, right back, Field hit well by Ty. And for the umpteenth time, it's the shoulder of Ty that does the damage. Stops things in a moment, but Wigan have another chance. Field goes dancing, bounces off Ratchford, still going, looking for support, can't find a safe pass. So stops and starts again. Leeming, Ellis to Smith, puts the kick up, Wardle underneath it. It's play on, Nasemba gets the ball away, and Cruz Leeming is there with a salute. It's an honour in his stand,
regardless of what
that salute,
okay?
but it might be premature.
Jack, it's tackle 5. I have no try.
No try on the field.
Just looking. Nasemba pull back on Leyland, which significantly disadvantages him.
Let's hear from Jack Smith again.
Tackle 5, we've got no try. First of all, it's onside offside, but we're checking a tackle without the ball. Ball on foot, everyone to the left-hand side, Dupree and everybody else to the right is offside. Let's just see what effect these players have. Smith's a kicker. Right, they're all going to be outside the 10. So close in now. That is always off Wardle and back. Let's go back, we're just assessing the contact from Nasemba on Ollie Leyland. Slow on this. Back. Nasemba here. Right, pause it there. Nasemba tackles Ollie Leyland without the ball. This will be no try, it will be a penalty to Warrington on the 10.
No way.
I think you'll find a way, Kyle. 2 scored, 2 disallowed. Eventually, there we go.
My goodness.
No try. Stays at 12-4.
I get the first one when he's completely taken out, but this is minimal.
December. So pull back on Leyland. Let's go. Okay, let's go.
Was there a significant
That's
pull?
that's what I'm thinking at, you know. He makes a... It's minimal, isn't it?
Contact on Leyland.
So Warrington will breathe a big sigh of relief, though, on the back of that, because just before half-time, that would have been, well, 6 minutes to half-time, but even so, that would have been a painful pill to take. That stage of the game, they are still at 2 scores behind as it stands.
Well, exactly. On the plus side, this contest is still alive. And 12 points to 4. If Warrington can get up this end of the field and post a score before half-time, it sets us up nicely.
Harrison to Ratchford, and out it goes, and Duffy, quick hands, but Lindop has the ball knocked out of his hands. And Wigan celebrate amongst themselves for having diffused that moment of danger.
A neat little bit of skill there from Lachlan Fitzgibbon, turning it up to Duffy, releasing the ball early. And the young 19-year-old, under pressure from Miski, just can't keep hold of the ball.
1-5, lost 4 so far, Warrington this season. Those painful defeats against Wigan in Vegas, of course, against Wakefield at home, against Lee and against Hull. So they will be suffering on the back of that. Look at that possession, 61% Wigan's favour.
It's up into the high 78s in the opening 12 minutes.
There's a kick and a chase. You put money on here, Josh Hewlis getting there first, but what does he do now? Because he's in goal and he just dives for safety. It's the best he could have done there.
He just waited and picked his moment. But just watch Wigan's defence here now. They'll turn the screw and get excited down this end of the field.
Tight plays. Wigan ready here. Lindop doesn't travel too far. Lateral. 3 to go in this set, and look where they are, still inside their own 10, crashed in by Musgrove. Powell looking around, wondering where he goes next. Here's Duffy, of course he does, it's the 5th. It's an invariable in Warrington's game. Duffy takes it in, it's back with Leyland, who scampers and has got time here to get some yards with boot. And Marshall looks to return. So a decent starting position from Wigan's point of view. Miski. Warrington looking to restrict here. Gleaming just bends in and dummies and just threatens to dart through, but again, good defence. Suddenly smartening him up. Curry on that occasion. Farrell now will carry it forward again. Couple of plays to go. Wigan 35 out. Warrington looking to do a job on them. Leeming, and out it goes to December, and ties in there with the immovable object, the unstoppable force. Just coming together. It's another set of 6, tied too long in the tangle.
This is a big couple of minutes for the Wolves now, under pressure.
Ellis giving a platform. Areas right and left of the field to work in. Smith puts it back. French is involved again. Dummies this time to Farrell. Tries to scoot around but doesn't get where he wants to go. It's Leeming now who runs across the face of that Warrington defence, and Smith takes it on and Fields involved with a beautiful ball over the top, and put your money on Liam Marshall, but he slipped, and Warrington recover. Wardle. It's back with Leeming, and his kick through because the chase is on, but it's going to be a knock-on from Tyler Dupree trying to get on the end of that.
It was the right idea. A little kick through there. Tyler Dupree chasing. Lachlan Fitzgibbon does enough just to escort him off that ball. But what a ball there from Jay Field. And Liam Marshall, you're right, Dave, all money. Everybody watching that would have thought he's over. And he just slips underneath him.
That is prime Marshall position, isn't it? I mean, a lot of wingers in the game similar, but prime Marshall position. You were expecting the try, you were expecting the cheers to go up. Instead, the legs went down. 90 seconds remaining. Warrington to looking to work their way out of trouble. There's another slip. There's another slip.
Oh, he looked guilty straight away, did Tyler Dupree. It is a slip, Dave, you're right.
It's an injury. It's an injury.
The stop in play. Tyler Dupree will just be concerned here because he knows the trend the game is taking.
Boys.
And although there's very little he could have done to get out of the way of that,
Fitzgibbon down again.
yeah.
But I think from our initial first look at it, there was a slip. There was a lowering of a level.
Yeah.
But it was the speed at which Dupree come over, and then he's looking at the referee straight away as if he knows he's in trouble.
Well, he's okay. So is the referee mindful to have a conversation here with the video referee? Have a look at that. I mean, his legs just went from under him. I'm not even was there contact with the head?
That left forearm. It'll be interesting to see what Chris Kendall makes of this, because he slipped a long way down, and he catches him. I feel for Dupree because there's not a lot he can do about that. He's not swung it back, Dave. He's not like let it go. He's just caught him. I think he's going to see yellow here.
Well, the conversation's taking place now between the video read Jack Smith, who's having a look at that, analysing. Here we go, let's hear.
Ben, it's a penalty. I've got that on field, but there's two mitigations, so it's a penalty only.
Penalty only, and common sense kicks in.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for.
There's two mitigations.
But we want to see our players out on the field, the stars on the field.
It's a penalty.
But I just thought with the way that we've seen, you know, you could have maybe thought that if a yellow was shown, would you be surprised, is what I'm saying.
Well, you wouldn't have been surprised, but I think...
well, it's the right call. Well done, Chris Kendall.
It was the right call. So off we go again. Warrington with a kick to touch. They've got this set now to try and put an indentation into that Wigan lead. Can they do something special in what remains? They've got plenty of yards to cover. Powell now spinning it out. Ratchford to Harrison. Harrison trying to bulldoze right through the middle. Upended and down he goes. Slows things down a little. They will get the whole of the set in. Leyland offers it back again. Holroyd cuts back towards the middle of the field. Powell's marching up. Interestingly, Josh Stewlis has come racing across the field, the right winger, to lend aid to that. He doesn't get involved in the play, but he was over there. But Warrington are getting closer. They're getting closer here. It's Musgrove, little bobble, but carries and pushes hard. And one last play, and an interesting position that the Wolves have worked themselves into. And Dufty now is coming sprinting to this right-hand side. The ball kicked into the in-goal area. Simple job for Jay Field, just to stick it out of play, knowing that the hooter's going to sound before they're forced to take the drop. And we're just counting down. That is the half-time hooter. Well, what a first half that was. Matt Peets at Wigan starting off in electrifying fashion. Jay Field with that try after 10 minutes. Set one up then for Bevan French. But Warrington have come rocking back into it with a Jake Fewley score from the Dufty pass, which means at half-time it's Wigan 12, Warrington 4.
Dave, thank you very much. Yes, who needs George Williams and Mark Sneed? Shorn of their star halfbacks, the Warrington Wolves, well, they have kept themselves in this game well and truly as we reach the halfway point of Game 2 of Magic Weekend's Day 2. It's the Wolves against the reigning champions, Wigan. And Wigan, well, they roared into a 12-0 lead with tries from some of their sensational superstars, but the Warrington Wolves would just not go away. First half analysis in the company of John Wilkin and George Williams after this. Should be said from up and down the country, the atmosphere here at St James's Park, Newcastle, is one to be proud of. A celebration of the great game of rugby league. as they have journeyed north in their thousands. Well, a big weekend on sport continues here on Sky Sports. Chelsea chasing Europe face the champions Liverpool. That's now on Sky Sports Premier League. Jack Draper is expected on court at about 5:30 for his place in the Madrid Open final. He takes on Casper Ruud. And it's race day from the Miami Grand Prix. Max Verstappen on pole, 7:30 p.m. for that on Sky Sports Formula One. We're at the halfway point on day 2 of Magic Weekend 2025, and the champions Wigan have, you would have to say, a not so generous half-time lead over the Warrington Wolves. It was a understrength Wolves side that went into this game, but they have given as good as they have got, and have found themselves, George Williams, absent yourself, absent Mark Sneyd, absent Matty Ashton, very much in this game.
100%. I spoke before about it being a challenge, and I think we've rose to that challenge. The first 15 minutes, Wigan were very dominant on the ball, scored a couple of tries. They could have easily written the game.
Uncomfortable viewing for you, those first.
Yeah, it's tough. I hate watching as it is. 12-0 down. We found our way back in the game. We've probably had 3 or 4 good ball sets. We've scored one, had one disallowed in a repeat set. So the more we can get down there, the better. But the minute, obviously, we're going to a good team.
Take us through, John, those opening 15 or so minutes that had our special guest so nervous.
Yeah, it was ominous, wasn't it? Because Wigan looked in incredible form, had the bulk of possession, and with that possession, they looked lethal as well. And it's the usual suspects. I love this movement. Just talk about Harry Smith's movement here.
Yeah, he's counting numbers. As soon as Luke Yates goes on the short side, it's 4-on-4. So he'll swip to the other side. That means we're short on the long side. And as Wigan do, they execute really well, and then they've got the pace of Jay Field, and it's just a constant threat. You go from Harry to Bevan to Jay. It's just so hard to defend, and it all comes from counting the numbers at the start of it.
Yeah, and I love that Bevan French just on the end of that burns really hard to get to the next defender. That creates space for Jay Field. Celebration there for Jay Field on the end of it. What I love about this is if any young centres want to know how to play a centre position when you're down to man-on-man, look at Jake Wardle's footwork, look at the offload, it's just world class, and the anticipation from Field and French when Wardle's got the ball is exceptional.
It's such a specialist position centre, and I think he's probably one of the best. Him and Matt Purcell for me are probably the standouts in Super League. Just in and away, left foot.
It's the speed to defend.
Roderick Ty's a good defender, and he makes him look a little bit silly.
I love the support play from Field and French. You can easily watch that happen and miss the kick they're done. And after 13 minutes, it was 76% possession to Wigan. They just dominated in every aspect.
And that, as the half grew on, in favour of Warrington, that switched. And we've ended after 40 minutes with a 59-41. But as you say, it actually got up to 78-22 split in possession at one stage. So Warrington were under the pump. You felt this could get very bad for Warrington, or if they got a little bit of possession themselves, they may get themselves on the scoreboard, which they did.
Yeah, they did. And it came through a kick from Leyland and a mistake from Jay Field. And that maybe just gifted Warrington a little bit of time, the first amount of time that they'd had at the Wigan line, and wow, did they take it. You know, disruption in the key positions. Ben Curry digs into the line. I love this again. Matt Duffy, talk about using your pace to burn a defender. Matt Duffy did that again, but the pass was on the money, George.
Yeah, that's why the fullbacks get paid the big money. They've got to ice those 3v2s or even 3v3s and make something happen, and he did that really well. Yeah,
and I think the challenge is going to be for Warrington, actually, Brian, is to score points, because they made a break here. Excellent offload from Fitzgibbon. Lindop in clear space. Look how many Wigan shirts are back in the frame here.
Wouldn't this have been a try?
But
wow.
it's fantastic play, but you've got to credit Wigan with an exceptional scramble, and not only that, off the back of that under pressure, they just maintained the defensive line.
And that's why they win titles, they win championships, because they just turn up for each other, and then they find a way to obviously defend the play.
George, Ollie Leyland and Stefan Ratchford playing in the halves because yourself and Mark Sneyd are not there. What message would you give to them? Considering what they've dished up in the first 40 minutes and going into the second half, what advice would you perhaps offer to them?
I think our completion rates are about 68%, and I know that sounds very basic, but if we can get them to around 90, we've only had 3 or 4 good balls, so we get it around 90, we're talking 7 or 8, we get more opportunity, more chance to score, which we need to win the game.
Yeah, I think Wigan will be looking to make more of their possession. They had 20-odd play the balls in the Warrington 20. two things. Warrington's defence has come up trumps there. It's come up really tidy to concede only 12 points. I think Wigan will be looking to take more opportunities with more time down on the Warrington line.
Well, this brilliant, immaculate pitch in this wonderful stadium doesn't get a rest at half-time, because you can see behind us here we have the Community Integrated Care Learning Disability Super League. Right behind us, it's Hull FC in action against the Wigan Warriors. And there are some wonderful sights right across the field as all of those participants get to enjoy this atmosphere and, of course, the great game of rugby league. It has now become an integral part of the Betfred Super League Magic Weekend. We've got a break coming up here. We will be back after that with the champions, the Wigan Warriors and the Warrington Wolves. It's a 12-4 half-time lead for Matt Pete's side. Sam Burgess' team, though, they will not go away. Second half on the way after this. Castleford Tigers head coach Danny Maguire has beefed up his squad and will come to St James's Park and the Magic Weekend with high hopes of recording a much-needed victory over their opposition today, Wakefield Trinity. Certainly does look a stronger Tigers side. And what about Darryl Powell and the Trin? Well, they had a Monday-Thursday victory in sensational circumstances against the Tigers. They'll be hoping for more of the very same. And if we get that on Sky Sports, we will have had a thrilling conclusion to day 2 of the 2025 Betfred Super League Magic Weekend. It's a West Yorkshire derby as the Tigers take on Trinity here on Sky Sports Action, a 5:30 kickoff. Well, it's half-time in the Wigan-Warrington clash, and the Warriors with a 12-4 half-time lead over Sam Burgess' Warrington Wolves, who have dragged themselves back into this game. I just wonder what was said at half-time by the coaches. Well, I wonder no more. Jenna.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, Matt Pete said that it was a really frustrating first half. Given the amount of possession his side had, there should certainly be more points on the board. He referenced there was a lack of speed out there as well, so he's looking for an improvement in that area for this second half. As far as Sam Burgess goes, well, you can imagine he was really delighted there. He said that his players are still right in this game. The area of improvement he wants to see is their completion rate. But let's get this second half underway. Over to you, Dave and Carl.
Thank you, Jenna. I tell you what, if you wouldn't mind bringing that coat up, and me and Carl can wrap up in that in a second, because it is chilly up here. It is chilly. A word for our camera operators who've been up all afternoon. They've been up for several hours, and they are shivering as well. But we're enjoying what we're watching out on the field. Wigan supporters especially at the moment. We're just waiting for Warrington to reappear. One thing we've not really talked about is the effect of next week, Kyle, because Wigan have got a week off, unplanned, unwanted, but they don't play for another fortnight. They can put the pedal to the metal today. Warrington, you've been in this situation a week before a Challenge Cup semi-final. How much is that playing on minds out there?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to be playing too much on the minds out there. I actually think that they're really excited at the Wolves emerging out onto the field for the second 40. I think they've defended really, really well, and many of us thought the ball was kicked this afternoon. We were all worried for the Wolves. Well, they've shown that in the opening 40, their defence and their commitment to one another sees them still well in this contest. And I think for Wigan, Matty Pete mentioned about speed. I think he just wants his players now for the next 40 to front load and give everything they've got. That man in the picture there, we're still waiting for him to burst into this game, aren't we?
December in Newcastle. Sam Burgess putting on his big coat as well. It's that kind of a day. And I suppose the counter-argument is in amongst those Warrington players. There are players who are playing for positions next week in that semi-final, not just protecting themselves, but putting themselves right in the spotlight to be part of Sam Burgess's side. And an early penalty for Warrington here.
Shoulder charge there. I think it was Adam Kieran. Like you just turn, tuck and rotate. Zane Musgrove just carrying the ball hard into this second half, and yeah, that's correct call. Well spotted. Shoulder charge.
Shoulder to shoulder. So no card needed, but the penalty awarded correctly. And Warrington with an early chance to advance on the back of that. And here comes Harrison with the carry. 4 of them. It's making sure he's not going to go too far downfield. It's Powell at dummy half again. looking to deliver. Curry straightens up, but they're rushing into his face.
Ben Curry had a busy first half, linking that forward pack up in and around to Rashford and Leyland.
Reinvented in his playing style, hasn't he, under Sam Burgess this last couple of years? Not just a threatening wide runner, much more of a central player these days. This is Leyland, one of those who does have a case to prove ahead of that semi-final, and Ty slips away from one defender. And it takes a hard-working Harry Smith to get to him, to bring him down. The ball is picked up and advanced with some menace here. And a little duck by Josh Thulis underneath Ellis's tackle.
Yeah, the Wolves just missed the play. Thulis wanted players in and around him.
Oh, that's scrappy. Playing the ball's okay. Referee says it's fine. Rashford kicking. This is the last play. Up goes the other Thulis. Takes it well enough and then regathers from his own pass. He's passed to himself, Jake Thulis. Can he score a try as well as an assist here? This is Leyland. And a kick towards the corner from Josh Thulis. And Roderick Ty flying in. And the referee has no hesitation in giving the try to Ty. It's Ty time.
Well, this wasn't in the script. The penalty given away by Kieran. The crossfield kick. And Thulis throws the ball back to himself before searching and exploring the far side of the field. And then a wonderful kick through on the end. And it all started with this penalty. And Kieran just deciding to turn his shoulder in rather than meeting it head on. The kick from Rashford. But just keep your eye on Thulis here. He throws the ball down. He's able to regather it before he skirts all the way across 30-40 metres laterally to the other side of the field. And then it's his brother Thulis. The centre and winger have swapped over, Dave, to combine. And what a neat kick that was from Josh Thulis. Perfectly weighted and perfectly executed, Dave.
Jake on one side, Josh on the other. And he's the man who puts the dot on it all with the score to make this a very interesting contest again right at the start of this second half. First try of the season, as you saw then. And a kick from the touchline. And a look of real hope from the coach. Rashford settling himself. Missed one so far, and the success probability is not as good as he might have hoped based on reputation conditions. There is a bit of a wind in the stadium as well as he kicks that, and yes, Stefan Rashford rolling back the ears to stick that one over and rolling the scoreline on. Wigan 12, Warrington 10.
We're just seeing this try once more. It's younger Thulis. So gives it to Thulis Senior. And a wonderful kick. And Ty scores. He got a try last week. And he's got one again.
If the sponsors are giving donations for try celebrations, I hope they include serious looks of concentration, because that's what we saw from Roderick Ty on the back of that score. Eyebrows furrowed with intent as Warrington look to bring it back again. Well, when Wigan leapt to that 12-0 lead, we feared the worst in terms of this as being a competition. But my goodness, Warrington have dug deep here.
Yeah, the champions started 100 miles an hour. But what Warrington have been able to do is just soak up and absorb all the pressure. They've defended the try line, particularly in that first half, for large periods. And when you shut a side out like Wigan, you grow in confidence. But that's a blistering start to the second half. Sam Burgess will be delighted.
Duffy takes it in. Here comes the last. Oh, it's Leyland who does well to spring away from Leeming and get the kick in away before Ellis gets there. But it's caught by Marshall to look to bring it back again. That curtain is drawn of Warrington defenders. And there's no way of peering through the windows to try and get himself downfield. Wigan have to start from here. Still 20 short of the halfway line. Miski, the other winger, will lend a hand. Lend a bit of weight, but he's being danced around. Dominated by those three in primrose and blue. This now is Walters with a big effort down at the middle. Leeming, waiting. Ellis helps it on. It bounces up and bounces away. And it will be Warrington who get it back. And my goodness, there's no doubt about who's dominating the opening stages of this half.
Well, it's Wigan's turn to come up with errors. Cade Ellis. What about that shot as well? Harrison lifts Dupree, both feet. The ball's gone. Big contact after it.
Big man on big man. Collisions, enforcers on both sides. We start again with a scrum.
Well, look, it's only the 6 minutes into the second half, but already Wigan are playing into the hands of the Wolves. You know, George Williams talked about, and Sam Burgess, as Jenna Brooks told us, that he wanted that completion heading north. Well, they're up to 75% now.
Well, he applauded his side's endurance, didn't he, the other week against St Helens, Sam Burgess, because they had so many issues going on with injuries on the field, and they got the win. This is Dufty. Well, this is another performance that is, other than the opening 18 minutes or so, is just reflecting their character here. Here's Ty. Powell's got time to select his options. The run is from Philbin, fresh from the bench. Just inside the Wigan half by a stride or two. Powell. It's slung left, and here comes Harrison at pace and with power. Edging his side closer. Wigan are just backpedaling at the moment, but Walters puts a little spring in their step with that wonderful tackle. Out from behind the rock, just crashing Sam Powell down. And an early dart from Leeming has left some space here for Curry, who puts in the footwork. Nasemba's back and finds the ground, but well read there.
Well, it was poor marker play from Wigan. Both of them missing their assignment, and Ben Curry's just able to come up with half an opportunity. Just keep your eyes here. That's under 12 stuff. Both markers going the same way.
Well, he was trying to make a read there, Leeming, but I think he turned a couple of pages too far forward, hadn't he? And,
sure did.
It could have been Warrington's opportunity. It was Warrington's opportunity, but Wigan do have it back again, and here comes Kieran. Leeming back in control. This is Ellis spinning in the tackle, trying to find a way of getting that ball clear, but no way to be found. 5 gone, here's the last, so Wigan will kick from very deep, and Smith puts big boot to that, and he's just trying to test at the touchline, but Dufty, as ever, reads well and carries it back safely enough.
You need a bit of footwork there just to get in between French and Farrell.
Thewlis, the younger. Jake, crabbing across field. Hunted down, and Nasemba does a number. It's his big brother, the other side. Josh. Powell, spinning it back. Now it's Musgrove who carries it forward again with real intent, and look at the metres after contact.
I was just going to say, each one of those carries have been over 10 metres. A brilliant ball play from Curry.
Oh, Radford's got a bit of room to get Harrison rolling away, who puts it back on the inside. It's a forward pass. Was that the option?
Well, he's still got another play in the bank, Dave. But it opened up so easy. I think if he has his time again, he just takes the tackle.
I must have known it was going to be forward.
And the easy ball here is to Lindop. I don't think he'd quite seen him, had he?
No, I think he's just too far back.
Call me Mr. Hexam.
But the right edge there for Wigan just got torn to pieces. They've had chances. On another day, they could be ahead in this contest for sure.
So Wigan under the cosh, looking to reassert authority if they can, because at the moment the authority figures are Warrington. Walters shuffled around and turned around and sent back a little bit from where he came from. Leeming spinning it back, and Thompson comes crashing forward. Again, you know exactly what you're going to get from certain players.
Yeah.
Thompson's one of those. Leeming, Farrell stepping off the left, then off the right, but running into trouble, and he's being carried towards the touchline. Still very safely in play. Leeming again now as Wigan cross the halfway line. Bevan Fretch putting the footwork on, trying to create something out of nothing if he can. And we reach the last, and Leeming and Smith puts it up high. Pulis underneath it, and just about does the job. Look where they finish. I mean, that's a great kick, isn't it? Great position.
Yeah, perfection. 1 metre away. Roderick Tye just almost has to surrender. He does ever so well to take that, running backwards, knowing that there's a whole left edge of Wigan chasing down hard. Well, 3 players gone here, and they're not even past their own 10-metre line. They're going to have to come up with a deep kick.
Lindop rounded up, pushed back again. Broke his jaw the other week, didn't he? Played in the game, broke his jaw in the game, carried on playing. It's the madness of rugby league players. It's what they do. It's ridiculous at times. Out of dummy half, it's taken by Crowther and moved out to Leyland, and Leyland just belts it. Bounce of the ball is it's just a little unkind for Marshall. Just loses just that yard or two before he can gather it up and try to run it back, but they're waiting.
The kick worked out well for Warrington.
There are only 5 Wigan players behind the play the ball here. The rest are struggling to get back in the field of play. They will be now because of that heavy carry by Kieran. So Wigan with a chance to build some pressure here. Thompson comes charging forward again, just hurls his body at the Warrington players. Leeming dances out. Smith to Nasemba. Nasemba taken round the knees. Leyland, copybook tackle in that situation. It's with Smith. Pops it back. Ellis. French now. Wigan are looming forward. Field with a wonderful, absolutely wonderful pass out. And all that Miski can do, having touched it down, is turn round to his teammate and say thank you very much for that.
Well, it's the 5th try of the contest, and it's the pick of them. A wonderful, wonderful score there for Wigan. Abbas Miski goes in with the glove untouched, but it's all down to the quality and the skill of the ball movement from one side of the field to the other. Just keep your eyes on this. Look at everybody's timing. The pass selection's on the money. It's crisp, it's sharp, and it's quality.
Well, Jake Pulis didn't know whether to put his left leg in or his left leg out.
Just look at the detail, Dave, of everybody's role nailed. It's rugby league poetry in motion. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic handling and the finish, and Miski just puts his hands up. Maybe it was a half-hearted attempt at a celebration there from Abbas Miski, and he lost his nerve in the end. But Wigan, with an element of control restored, and a position that will be improved significantly if Adam Kieran can put this over. 16-10, and the conversion would give them a 2-score lead. We need to get back to what we were doing, boys. You'd suspect is Curry's talk there. Ratchford's chipping in as well. Old heads, sensible heads.
You just think back to Harry Smith's kick landing about 30 centimetres short of the try line, how much of a momentum shifter that was, because it was all Warrington who were on top. And that kick from Smith just allowed them to get field position for the set after, and then the quality shone through.
And as we know, you make a good point there, and as we know, and as Adrian Lamb made the point yesterday when we mic'd him up and got that brilliant insight from both him and Steve McNamara, it's not about the set you're in, it's about the next set, isn't it? Very often it's you're planning and plotting for what comes next.
And sometimes it can be even the following set after that. We call it the cycle in the game. Get into the cycle. High hanging kicks landing. Oh, this is a high kick, and it's central as well.
Kick. Absolutely perfect from Kieran. 18 points to 10. Yeah, we look at these players just running into each other, and the untrained eye switches on and thinks they're just playing British Bulldog, but there's a lot of thinking going on that ends up with situations like this.
Yeah, just everybody nailing the role at top speed. And of course, Abbas Miski will get the plaudits, but he'll be the one to tell you first that it all comes from what's done on the inside. And Adam Kieran knocks that over. 3 from 3. He kicked all 8 out in Vegas, didn't miss a single one. And he's doing it here in Newcastle.
Well, others, and we look askance at Brian Carney, got to enjoy the heat of Vegas. We're shivering up here on the gantry in Newcastle.
Yeah, he gets everywhere.
Here's Walters. 5 games gone so far, or very nearly. This is the next game. You can see the teams lining up there at the bottom of your screen for Castleford against Wakefield. Local rivalry, re-engaged. Only about 2 weeks since they last did it.
Exactly, yeah. At Golden Point, was it?
Well, we know there's going to be some intensity to that game. And just to underline as well, the biggest crowd is today of this weekend. For the first time in the 18 editions of the Magic Weekend, the Sunday is giving us the biggest crowd.
Well, it's given us already 2 quality games. Huddersfield, of course, with their first win. And this contest far from over yet. 18-10 it leads.
Yeah, Smith sticking that very high. And Dufty, there's traffic coming around. Miskey was making a nuisance of himself, but Dufty's caught it well enough. Warrington looking to exit as quickly and as sharply as they possibly can. They were 12 down and revived. They are now 8 down and need to revive again. Here's Josh Dewlis. Travers there, a dummy half, waiting for the ball to be delivered into his hands again from the boot, and Leyland will just welly it. But Field is tracking and tracing that kick and catching on the fall, which gives him an advantage. And just having a look to see if there's anything in there, a little gate swinging open in that wall of Warrington defenders. There wasn't. And so Wigan start from here. Marshall.
There's another tackle-for kick in that set. And Leyland just decides to exit. Oh, Harvey Hill, and he takes a big shot from Philbin. Sits him down.
2 big boys in collision. This is Smith just trying to work his way through, but job done by Crowther. And as he gets up, Crowther has a second attempt. He's declaring his innocence. Captain's challenge still available. Captain's challenge.
Oh, it's a penalty. But what Harry Smith does is he makes sure that he wins the penalty. There's a pull there, you can see it.
Yeah.
But then he makes sure of it.
We've seen more convincing dives in the other code of football on this ground than that, but that was just getting there, wasn't it? This is Leeming back on the inside to French, and now Thompson again just puts the big truck into 4th gear and charges in. Leeming comes out. French now, little dummy looking to get through the gap that was caused by the run of Sam Walters, but that was an obstructive run.
Bevan French. You just see when he gets his hands on the ball, he goes round the back of Sam Walters.
Goes round his own man, materially disadvantaged.
The penalty's given away with ball in hand.
Next line.
So not as tight as it was, but still very much in the balance this game as Ty takes it forward. As we often say, next score crucial.
Don't go early. Hold it.
Just to dictate the pattern of play thereafter. Wigan's defence moving out quickly, shutting down options for Warrington.
With me, Cruz, wait, go to.
Crowther inside for Vaughan. There again, up in his face almost as soon as he has the ball, but he has that ability, doesn't he? Just taking defenders an extra 5-10 metres further downfield to give his side a bit of an advantage. Curry now takes it on. A reach by Leyland and has it. And here's Dufty and springs into life, but Wardle collars him and is threatening to drag him out of play. But he's okay. He's okay. Slung back to Leyland. Curry. Ratchford. And now they've got some width on this side, and Lindop's got some pace, but the pass was not the best. Hurled at Jake Thewlis and spilt as a result.
Poor end to the set. And young Lindop, he fires that ball, doesn't he? It makes it difficult for Jake Thewlis to take it in. Adam Kieran slips in the back play. And the execution on the end of it.
Oh.
Yeah, they know there's a...
Back to where you were, boys. Excitement over, so Wigan get the feed here. Very nearly 1 hour played. Wigan leading by 18 points to 10. Champions, of course, last year. Warrington hoping to put their flag up this season. But at the moment, it's advantage Wigan in this game and on the table as well. Leeming stands and waits. Hill trying to search around the outside of the grabbing Crowther.
Wait, no. Go. On the mark.
Leaving. Thompson. Again. Big bursting stride forward. Leeming. Smith to his left, Nasemba's there, and Nasemba goes flying in, but again, the technique is good from Ollie Lane in giving up an inch or two and a pound or two, but he went low. You can't run without your legs, Kyle.
No, he's been spot on. You know, there's a sheer difference in size. But Ollie Leyland's answered the question every single time. Here goes Cruz Leeming.
Good footwork from him as well, and the dummy shown, but not bought. Harrison and Ratchford wrapping up. But 4 plays to go for Wigan. They advance menacingly again here. Smith to Walters. Nasemba to his left was dashing through a gap, but Walters kept a hold. Played the ball. Leeming belatedly gets across there. Smith offers it back to Thompson again. Again, straightforward, but good effort from him. 2 to play. Walters now slinging it back to Smith. This is French. Just threatens to slip past a couple of defenders, plays the ball on the last, and Farrell will pick it up and go for the line. He's over, but he ain't going to get that down. Not going to get that down.
Desperate defence there from the Wolves, and it had to be as well. There's a decent sized hole opened up, but you can just see Harrison, Ratchford in there too. 4 shirts in and around the ball, and they do enough. Duffy falls off. I think it's James Harrison's right arm.
So they're back to the 10-metre mark, but they're back to, again, hard labour here for Warrington to get themselves out of this. Penned as they are, Ty now will take it on. Smashing in. Reminder, Cass Wakefield, 5:30. And then we go again next week, of course. Sorry, the week after. We'll break next week because of the Challenge Cup, but Saints Catalan on the Thursday the week after. The Women's Super League, Wigan against York Valkyrie on May the 16th. It's a double header that, because we've got Wigan Lee straight after as well. On the Friday, back to the Men's Super League at Leeds as well. Leeds against Hull FC, and plenty more to look forward to in that weekend ahead. That's a fortnight hence, to remind you. On the 5th here, Leyland gets the kick away. Nasemba is across there. The bounce is kind enough for Miski. Looking to run it back. Warrington's line is up there. Crowther first to get there. And Wigan start from here.
Well met there by Crowther. This is the tandem, isn't it? Abbas Miski and Liam Marshall.
Leeming. Kieran. He's busting in, bumpers up. Leeming. Again, he's options right and left, but fancies a little look himself right down the middle.
He's had a couple of little runs, hasn't he, out of 9 the last few minutes, sorry.
I feel Wigan are in control here, don't you, in terms of where they are, but not in control of the ball. Smith drops it. The referee says that it's a knock-on.
The pass out the back from Hill was just behind Harry Smith, and Leyland straight on top of him. Smith wanted that ball out in front to be able to catch and pass, and it goes behind the back of him. He loses the ball.
Got a bad rap for his defence in that Vegas game, didn't he? What have you made of it today? You mentioned earlier about his tackle.
I think he's answered everything that's been asked of him. You know, you imagine that what that must have done for his confidence to come into the side and then get hooked off the field at Vegas against the team where it happened. I think he's been quality this afternoon.
Well, he was such a key figure for London last year, wasn't he? Just a lively figure throughout. No problem here. Ollie Leyland, he's been away at witness as well. This is going to be an HIA for Geordie Crowther. Green card, so he's off for 15 minutes. But here we go again. Warrington looking to get possession back. A chance to build some pressure here, potentially. Locked inside their own half. Powell wants that played quicker. Crashed in by Yates. Powell stands and waits. Lines are being run. Halfway line reached.
And there's 17 minutes to go, and you feel that Warrington have to score next.
Ratchford, oh, what a pass that was! Little movement, Dufty takes it on again, dragged down by the retreating French, but Warrington opened up the door there. Can they find more here? Lindop inside, Fawn bounces, has a look, offloads, taken by Powell. Now it's with Leyland. Leyland with a right-footed step. The ball comes, I think it was Hill. Hill knocks that ball free. The referee says played at and play on for Warrington with another set. Ratchford, little weave and a run from him. And they settle themselves down with a real attacking position.
Huge opportunity here.
Vaughan straightening up, trying to go over the top of them. Farrell with a rescue defensive tackle. Powell to the middle, into the hands of Curry. Back to Yates. We knew what was coming, driven in. And there's still plenty to go. 4 tackles. Oh, the pass is not a good one. But Dufty picks up, and how often do we see a bouncing ball create mayhem in the defence? And Harrison flicking it away, and Vaughan now will carry it on, and he keeps it alive. And Dufty looking towards that right-hand side, skimming across. Nasemba puts a hand on him, that is all. And Dufty running into trouble in the end. Happy to keep in the field of play.
There's some wonderful offloads there in that sequence.
Leyland, just a straightforward thrusting effort again. Warrington within the 10. Can they unpick this Wigan defence? Can they find a way through? Ratchford with a sweeping ball, but clearly forward. Clearly forward. Quarterback's pass rather than a halfback's pass, that one.
Wow.
Have a look. Look where he is. And look where the ball finishes.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. If he'd have nailed that pass, the selection, well, it was the right ball. That would have been a beauty.
Time bridge pass, that we talk about the Harbour Bridge. That was a time bridge pass, that wasn't it? But a little forward. So 15 minutes, just less to play.
What they're threatening here.
Warrington encouraged by that.
Yeah. They're so close.
Rueful look from Burgess. Kieran driving it in again. Not long now before you get your nominees for player of the match. Our league app is where you need to be to make your voice count. Should have downloaded it already. We're in game 5. What are you doing? O'Neill comes bouncing out. Farrell now runs it in. Takes it another 10 metres or so. Wigan looking to reassert control here. O'Neill and Hill. Head smacks back in a collision, but he's nosing his side closer to the halfway line. Walters puts it back. French dances away from Harrison, who made a desperate lunge, and French is still going. Powell was teased. Yates likewise. Walters keeps it alive. Now it's out wide. Nasemba's got a bit of toe. Oh, and Farrell, Marshall wanted it on the outside. Nasemba's still going. Oh, brilliant stuff from Junior. Back to O'Neill. Now with Smith. Smith dabs it left-footed. French puts the afterburners on. But it's a saving effort from Jake Pulis to turn it dead.
Yeah, a wonderful weighted kick from Harry Smith. And the ball needs to be escorted over the dead ball line. Young Pulis there with French. Well, look at this. Just look how he carries the ball. It's Ali Lawatiti-esque.
It's like he's carrying a cricket ball, isn't it? It's big hands keeping it under control.
He's one of the game's brightest stars.
What a 12 months he's had. 12 months ago he was not quite an unknown. Oh, the dropout went short, and it's taken by Hill, and Wigan straight away are back in position here.
Yeah, you worry for the Wolves here.
O'Neill waiting to deliver. It's with Ellis and now Smith, and Junior Nasemba comes charging down the middle with the challenge met and equalled by the Warrington defence. O'Neill, Ellis again. Here's French up to the line. The pass, well, intercepted as it was, and Lindop. Well, that needed some recovering from Bevan French, otherwise Lindop was going the distance. I'm not sure what the pass is all about. Kieran tried to kick it on and didn't make contact. Warrington come away.
Haven't they defended the try line ever so well? Bevan French with an important tackle after a loose end to the set.
There's Curry. Here's Powell. It's a game of pendulum swings at the moment. Swinging back Warrington's way. Vaughan towards the halfway line. Powell, 4 willing runners to his left-hand side, but back to the middle he goes, and Curry carries on to Leyland. Leyland with a bit of a skip, and just putting that pass away to Ty. But it was in a crowded place, he took it, so not a lot he could do with it. And this is the last. And Leyland will try to steeple it up there. There's a bit of spin on this, and the bounce is in Warrington's favour. The picked up by Kieran, and off he goes. Duffy's trying to get across here. Lindop's in support as well. Oh, he's stacked him. He's stacked him. He's put a red face on Matt Duffy and a smiling face on those Wigan fans. What a finish that was from Adam Kieran, who turned nothing into gold dust.
It was Ollie Leyland's kick. It skewed off his foot. Jake Thulis with the touchline threatening. Just can't quite take it in. You see, it's a crossfield kick. Adam Kieran thinks it's going over the sideline. Well, Thulis is aware of it. Kieran picks it up and he races 65 metres. For my word, Matt Duffy, you have to do better there. That is far too easy. For the quality of fullback that he is, he just gets done.
Yeah.
It's a poor attempt, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And he'll know it. And you feel that that's the game.
Here we go, here we go. There we go. He is a golf, Adam Kieran. He does love a round of golf. And he's just chipped his side very much closer to a winning position here.
Yeah. I mentioned that Wigan have only conceded an average of 11 points all this season. And they've done 10 here, and you just can't see how Warrington are going to find potentially 3 scores, but that there from Duffy, that's an ugly viewing, isn't it?
It is. It was an end off, but he was so easily shrugged away, wasn't he? And so a look of reserved fury at the moment, I'm sure, because his side were in the game just about.
I think he'll be proud of their efforts, you know, considering what he's able to be put out there. They've competed hard.
They would have hoped for more. They looked to have it all wrapped up there, didn't they? And ironically, Jake Thulis did very well to actually keep his foot in play when he took that ball, and if he'd actually put his ball on the foot on the whitewash, none of that would have happened.
Yeah, I think he was just perhaps a little bit worried about that sideline, and Kieran pounced.
So Kieran with the conversion attempt. Has a look. What is he? Perfect so far. 3 from 3. Does he continue that? No, he doesn't. Just pulls it away. But 22 points to 10. Warrington have to score twice, convert both to take us to a golden point extra time.
Yeah, look, I hope it happens for the sake of the game, but I can't see it. You see, Adam Kieran racing away, he slows down, and we'll move on from that.
No escorts, kid. No escorts, yeah? No escorts.
Giving the big raps for the sidesteps, but it was a defensive effort that really was poor.
He goes short.
Oh, and Miskey got there, but has knocked on, so the short kick has given Warrington a little hope here. They'll get the ball back. Eight and a half to go, so it is not beyond the laws of physics for Warrington to be able to dig their way back into this.
Well, it's not impossible, Dave, but it is more improbable.
As ever, the voice of optimism. Here they come. Let's see if they can make you eat your words. Ty's tackled. Powell, he's up there at dummy half. I think most neutral observers would agree with you, to be fair, Kyle. But anyway, here we go. What can they do? Roy piles it in, push back a yard or two. Powell has to wait a long time here because there's such a tangle on the field, and well, a shrug of the shoulders from Chris Kendall says it all. Pick yourselves up, fellas, get it sorted out and let's play on. Got a game of rugby league to be had here. Powell. This is Leyland putting it back for Musgrove. Powell again. Paul Vaughan just switching sides here because he wants to go, and the short pass for Yates. Two big men in harness, two tough men in harness. Wigan resolute. Ratchford, it's back with Dufty, and inside ball, and Josh Dewlis was waiting for that, and he's got the wherewithal to get rid of it, and Philby goes clattering through. Well, he's got his hand over the line. Did he still have possession? Was there grounding there? Oh, he thinks it's a try. He thinks it's a chance for a miraculous route back for Warrington. Let's hear from Jack Smith.
Tackle for try on field. We're just checking grounding, please, for Philby. Philby's in possession slow, in possession slow. That's all one movement, and the ball is grounded. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Wow. How did he score that? Well, the try, as we know, is going to be given eventually. Here we go, try confirmed. Warrington are right back in it. Ratchford needs to kick this, but what an effort that was from Joe Philby.
Yeah, it sure was. And his first try of season 2025, and how important may it be? And maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, Dave. Because if Ratchford can land this, well, we're going potentially right the way.
Massive moment, this massive moment. Doesn't need us to tell you that. Has to kick this to put Warrington within range. You'd back him to kick this under normal circumstances, and he has done it. 22-16. We are into the final 6 minutes, and on the back of this we have drama.
Yeah, the ball was just kept alive. The fuel is there popping up on the inside of Dufty, and then Philbin's just thinking hard and direct. And we mentioned Matt Dufty's tackle earlier. Well, I've no doubt that Matty Pete will be a little bit upset by how easy Philbin is just able to get through Cade Ellis, Jay Field and Liam Farrell, but take nothing away from the score. Determined, only knowing one outcome there from Philbin. An important score.
Well, his 12th season at Warrington, Joe Philbin. It doesn't seem like a blink of an eye since there was a young fella coming in and skittling fellas whenever he came on off the bench. But he has scored a big try here. And these are the candidates for player. Well, they're all in Wigan colours. Jay Field, Bevan French, Harry Smith, Luke Thompson. Who do you reckon? And is there a Warrington player out there to make that look like a foolish pick, those four? If Warrington can get back and win this game. But our league app to make your voice heard on player of the match. But Warrington are hoping they can rewrite the script here. Vaughan offloads, Dufty comes flying in, and Dufty's flying through as well, takes on Field on the outside. It's all about a foot race between the fastest men on the park. Gets it away, Dewlis, and to his brother Jake. Jake Dewlis scores in the corner. We've got a miracle on our hands here. The try is confirmed, and from absolutely nowhere, they are bouncing with delight.
Astonishing play there from the Wolves. Deep inside their own half. Paul Vaughan with a sublime offload. And then a race for the ages. Dufty, Field and French all going for it. Before Fulis pops up on the end. Credit Paul Vaughan here. Dufty arriving. And then here we go. Everybody out of the seats. As a foot race starts. And then back on the inside. It's Dewlis to his brother, to an important score. And my goodness, a nail-biting moment here inside of St James's Park. And Stephen Ratchford with a kick to level it.
Well, maybe we should put that graphic up again about player of the match, because there's three players there combining who'd rather fancy they should be considered. But it's too late for that, folks. But it ain't too late for something incredible to happen here. Well, they know it's not quite job done. Young Jake scores the try, but it's veteran Stefan who could have the last word. Out in the cold in the last... Well, there, George Williams looking on. He's calmer than anyone at the moment. But what about the nerves here? All that experience packed into that player. And now one of the biggest moments. Sticks this over. We're in golden point territory. Couldn't be more difficult. Right from the touchlines. Take a deep breath and exhale if you're a Wigan supporter, because he's put it wide. There is still a chance. There's still 3.5 minutes to go, but Wigan just with the advantage.
Well, they've just scored 2 inside of 3 or 4 minutes. They've completely written them off. I couldn't see where it was coming from. But goodness me, don't you just love this game, Dave? Rashford agonisingly just pulls it wide. Wow.
Well, nobody was expecting this, I don't think. I think even within the Warrington camp, they knew they had a battle on today because of the missing stars. And the expectation was that, just like in Vegas, Wigan would run rampant. Oh, they almost gave the ball away there. And Wardle with a big read. They were trying something desperate. And in the end, it turned out to be just that, desperate. Well, Wardle got right up there.
Yeah, they had to roll the dice. But Wardle, his head's in the play.
Bang.
Straight on him. Dufty doesn't even have time to blink, let alone catch.
Just hurling it back on the inside. My money's on a short dropout here.
Well, it has to be, doesn't it?
Don't call me genius too soon, but I think this is going to be a short dropout, surely. Well, those two big fellas. Bit of muscle there. I love the attention. And it was a short dropout, and it was about 8 yards too short. Well, he could have rewritten this, and in a couple of moments, Stefan Rashford's just wishing that he could just press the replay button and go back 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, you can see there on his face. He's disappointed with that. But look, let's go back to before a ball was even kicked this afternoon.
Time off.
And he comes up with the ball there. I get that he has to roll the dice, but then off the back of that, it's probably not his finest minute.
And is that the game, or do Warrington still have a response? Or do Wigan put it to bed here now with 2.5 minutes to go? Thompson crashing in. Wigan 3 steps away from confirming the win. O'Neill, late look around, finds Smith. Warrington's defence working hard, they need the ball back. Wigan just need to see it calmly through. Smith. Ellis. And O'Neill rocking up into that key role. Hill's just to his right. They're taking all the time in the world. It's back with Smith again. Thompson thundering forward. Warrington not losing heart just at the moment. Putting heart and soul into this defensive effort. One last play to survive. French now with the dummy and quite happy to hand the ball over right there. Well, he's being dragged out of play, so it'll be about 8 steps further downfield. But Warrington have got it all to do with just over a minute to play.
And they've got 95 metres to get up to the other end of the field. And the clock is ticking. 1 minute and 10 left.
Well, down the years, magic has given us some moments at this stage of games. Is this going to be another one? Improbable that Warrington should be in this position anyway. Implausible if they can score again.
Well, what have they got up their sleeve here? They have to go for broke.
Well, the clock's ticking down, Paul Vaughan. You need to play it as quickly as you can. It's taken on again by Yates. 3 tackles to rescue it. Left it comes, Ratchford in again, Dufty. Oh, and the bounce off the chest, picked up by Kieran. Here's a look on the inside, stepping away. The tackle is made, but that surely is that now.
Yeah, that is it. Their opportunity in that final set. And we have to pay credit to them to be in that position, because I don't think anybody, even the most die-hard Warrington fan, would have seen a two-point ball game after 80 minutes between these two.
Well, a sigh of relief, no doubt, from Matty Pete, because his side looking very comfortable winners at one stage, but less than comfortable winners in the end. Just by the width of a post almost, that missed conversion, the difference. What an effort. Everybody expecting Warrington to succumb this afternoon, but they've turned up to the plate. They provided us with a memorable battle, but it is Wigan who march on again with another big win in pursuit of a retention of their title. It's finished in Game 5 of this magic weekend. Wigan 22, Warrington 20.